animal health. And well, in fact, we're not really talking about animal health, but we're talking about slaughtering of animals here.
We are, but the overall issue being that of animal welfare, which the government makes great claims to care about. And on Monday, there was a debate in response to a petition which had received over 100,000 signatures, and the title was to ban non-stun slaughter in the UK. Now, this should have led into a discussion about animal rights, but in fact, the reality was rather different because, and this is not to criticise the starter of the petition, but it turned into a rather divisive debate, more concerned with people than practices. The current law, of course, states that in both commercial and home slaughter settings, there is a religious exemption in that this mostly affects the Jewish and Muslim faiths, in that non-stun slaughter may be carried out for these religious purposes. Now, the debate drifted somewhat from animal welfare, and what was significant was it was really a case of balancing some areas of what are regarded as animal welfare against what was being described as the expression of religious freedom. Now, as pointed out by the RSPCA, the percentages concerned are small, with the exception of sheep. And if you can't see the screen, there's about 2.8% of chickens nationwide and 1.9% of cattle, but nearly 30% of the total amount of sheep slaughtered in this manner. So the issue kept returning to Judaism and indeed Islam, and therefore the people involved. There were lots of contributions from Jewish and Muslim MPs putting forward their case. But what did drop out of it was, of course, the fact that the government really pays lip service to animal welfare in the wider context. So there was no broadening of the debate, as indeed there should be, one might say, about the treatment of animals in life, in commercial farming, and indeed in death, because, of course, the vast majority of animals are not killed in this manner, but there are certainly problems within the system. The other thing, again, not discussed at all, was slaughter on suspicion, which we've covered a lot with regard to bird flu, and the number of birds have been destroyed with techniques such as expanding nitrogen foam or indeed gassing. So this is all part of the sort of rather confusing agenda as to whether we should or shouldn't eat meat and whether we should or shouldn't be afraid of animals, something that seems to be encouraged and discouraged by government at the same time. We cast our minds back to the potential COVID cat cull, picture of the cat outside Downing Street back in 2022, I think it was. And then again, just to, when one considers whether or not, these things can happen, this is Hilda Keen's book, The Great Cat and Dog Massacre, which was about the preemptive destruction of nearly 250,000 pets from 1939, based on what turned out to be a completely false premise. Now, this is something I'd like to go into rather more next week with the state of abattoirs and indeed a more general piece on animal welfare, because that was the one point this debate really did not touch upon. It was much more concerned with who rather than how.
Yes, thank you, Charles. Yeah, thanks, Charles. Right, I'll just, you're having trouble with numbers today, 750,000, not 250,000.
Okay, well, thank goodness you're here.
Yeah, all right. We're going to leave it there for today. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Vanessa. And thank you, Sandy. We'll be back in a few minutes if you're a UK Column member for some UK Column News Extra. If you're not a member, please consider joining us. We do need your continued financial support. And again, thank you very much to everybody that is a member. And we'll see you in a few minutes for Extra. Enjoy the interviews tonight with Jerm and tomorrow with Brian. And we'll see you on Friday at 1 p.m. as usual. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.